I've recently released this EP with Groove Shack Records, and it actually ended up in the BEATPORT Top 100, which is pretty damn cool. So in this video, I'm gonna be breaking down exactly how I made my favorite track from that EP, which sounds like this. The first thing I'm going to show you is the bass elements. So this is really simple actually. I've just got a kick in here. I actually didn't have to do that much processing. I used a kick from my own private sample pack, which is this one. I just added some saturation on it and I sent it to one of my return tracks where I've got an amp. This is how I adjust it. It's a very clean and simple way to add some beef to my sounds really quickly. So that's why I like doing that. And the sub is also very simple. There's only 2 layers for the bass. Honestly, I didn't add much. So the sub is just this basic sub sine preset right here. You can find it in the Ableton default presets. And this is literally a sine wave. That's all this is. This is what it sounds like. The way I actually came up with this pattern was using this ML185 sequencer. So if I turn the pattern off, you can check this out, because this can actually randomize completely random sequences for you. So this is just an 8-step sequence, so it's very repetitive, which makes it so hypnotizing, right? And let's pitch that down maybe. We can randomize something else as well. That's cool. So that's how that was made. Very simple. So now let's move on to the drums. And in this case, it actually looks like I've mostly been using just loops. Don't crucify me for that, but I'm using a lot of loops, which I think some of them are from Ableton, like this one. And this one. There's this from a sample pack. Also using this beatbox thing, apparently. And when you layer all of these together, it really fills out the track. Let's just compare how it would feel without them. So it really adds a lot of energy. And apart from that, I've also got some more simple drums, like this upbeat hi-hat, which is just a simple sample, which I've sent to one of my return tracks with a reverb on it. Then I've got this hi-hat, which is actually happening on the downbeat, so at the same time as the kick. And I've also got this layer. So we've already had this upbeat hi-hat, but I've also got this open hat, which is just another way to add energy. And I really like doing stuff like that because it allows me to manipulate the energy of the track within the actual arrangement much better. Like you can see in this example, I'm just adding the open hat as a layer for these 8 bars. And that's how I like to think about drums in general. These are like tools for managing the energy of the track. So having a lot of layers really helps with being able to do that. Now let's keep moving, because The drums and the bass were actually kind of boring. The melodic elements is where things get really exciting. And first, I also want to show you the effects and all of the atmospheres I have in here. So at crucial moments, I have all of these small little details, small effects like this. This is a simple 505 hand clap sample, which I've sent to a reverb and a delay. And I'm playing it at crucial moments in the track that I want to emphasize. So this is a very important moment where we go into the breakdown and the kick gets taken away. I'm obviously emphasizing that. I have this sample, which is also from my personal sample library. I took this and I just put it at the beginning of each 16-bar phrase, with also taking it through a bunch of effects like an echo, a vocoder to add a little bit of noise to it, and some side chaining at the end. So that's emphasizing the beginning of the phrases. But what's happening in between these phrases as well are these little hits. Over 16 bars, they are happening only twice. And these sounds are actually from Labs, which is a great sample library, by the way. We're going to get into them in a second because I've used them for some other effects as well. And let's just cover the other atmospheres. So we've also got this noise thingy. This is very quiet in the mix, very subtle. And I've also layered that with an Atmo. So let's try to recreate it from scratch. So basically, I started with Granulator, and I actually used one of my samples from my free sample pack, which, by the way, you can download in the video description for free. And it's this one. And the thing is, I literally designed this pack to work perfectly with Granulator, because the cool thing is, once you have the sample inside Granulator, you can drag your mouse around and actually choose which part of the sample you want to use. So I chose around this part. And I'm pretty sure I also pitched it down a little. And that's the atmosphere. And the beautiful thing is, I've also used the same sample to create both the main hook and the question answer. So let me show you. Now we're going to move on to the melodic elements in the track, which I think are the most interesting in all of this. So first of all, the main hook. It's that same sample from earlier, chords to choose from. But instead, this time I chose this part of the sample. And the rhythm for this is very simple as well. It's just 4 eighth notes right after another. Except I made this one shorter to make it a little bit more interesting. And you can clearly hear that over time, this hook is slightly changing. So first of all, I've automated it so the filter opens up, then it closes back down to add some dynamicness to it. But I also have this on here. So a lot of people, when they see my projects, they're quite confused. Like, why the fuck do you have a squid in your effects? And I mean, I don't know what to tell you. This is a squid. You know, this is a free Max for Live device. And you would think it's like a joke device or something, but it's unironically good because it's just the most unique distortion ever. Let me show you what it sounds like in practice. So this is at 0%. And then at 100. Very interesting sound. So I've automated that over time so that this hook can sound different over time. It's evolving. It sounds different than it would sound here. And that's actually a very important concept for techno especially, because by the very nature of techno, it's going to be quite repetitive. So you want to be introducing all sorts of automations like that to make sure that your tracks actually stay interesting. Remember that. Then there's this answer right here. And it's creating this question and answer with our other hook. And now we get to the really interesting stuff. So I'm getting this string sound from Labs, which is a great sample library. I really love them because it's free and it sounds good. And yeah, the pattern is very simple. Just a D with an octave, and then we have this single semitone interval, which is very dissonant and very effective to achieve a melancholic or a scary sort of sound. And I actually decided to add a piano in here. The piano sound that I used was from Labs again. The chords are like this. And the reason these notes are placed like that is it's actually very intentional. I'm going to show this to you right now. It's because of the interaction between this. This is our last element, and I think this one's the most exciting out of everything. But let me explain the actual question answer here. So firstly, we've got the piano playing this. And then very quickly, the guitar is gonna respond. And right after that, we get the piano chiming in again. So it creates this really coherent phrase. Let's just go over how I actually made the guitar element. This is actually a very fun little thing I did here. My friend has a guitar and we just kind of jammed on it. Let me turn all of these effects off so you can hear what it sounded like originally. Oh, I pitched this up as well. So this lasted for probably like 15 minutes alone, just recording a bunch of bullshit in here, seeing what works, you know, very experimentative. And then what I did with that was I pitched it up. I sent it to a reverb. And then this is the crazy part. So I took out the lows. I don't want it to be clashing with our bass frequencies. Then I added an auto filter on that. And let me just recreate how I would do that from scratch. Basically, you take an auto filter, you put it into bandpass mode, and you turn up the LFO amount, so that the bandpass filter is moving around automatically. That way you get these interesting filter sweeps. You can also set the rate mode to synced, set it to something else. Which, yeah, I really, really like that. And it sounds especially cool when you add an echo after it. And then you can also add some reverb. Yeah. So I've just got these effects crammed up like that. which allows us to go from this bullshit to this. Like, come on, it doesn't take talent to fuck around on a guitar aimlessly. Like, I have no clue how to play guitar, but this came out pretty cool. What's most important is how I went about placing these guitar hits in the actual groove of the track. So all of the guitar hits are either emphasizing or bouncing off of the piano, which is very, very important. And that's a core concept I want you to understand. And the last cherry on top is my vocals, which happen only once in the track at this final drop. Now, if you could use some help with actually finishing tracks like this, I offer one-on-one lessons to help with that. And I would love to help you out personally, so if that sounds interesting, book a call with me using the link below. That's it. I'll see you soon. Peace.